We'll be changing this alternator on this International 856. Yeah, man. Pretty simple. It's just like an old AC Delco Remy. Just one plug, 2 wires, tensioner, and your bolt through. We will have to swap the pulleys because we run a bigger belt than the pulley that's on the one we've got. We're going to start by loosening the tensioner. Whoop. Don't tell him I did that. It's a classic. We're going to start by loosening the tensioner. Whoop. Don't tell him I did that. It's a classic. Alright. Then we gotta loosen the main bolt up just a little bit. If I remember right, Monday's having these. Oh! Alright. So we got that loosened up a touch. We're gonna take the belt off. Just leave it there for the time. Pull this back out so we can see everything real good. I've already broke these loose, so we'll take these off. On these old Delco Remys, they were smart enough to make the eyelets different sizes so you can't get them crossed. So that's pretty handy. You can see they're 2 different sizes. You know, I noticed that about GM. Just unplug that. Be careful with that, that's getting brittle. Like when I put the motor in my 02 6.0, that I was scared to death of the wiring, but when you undo all the wiring, it's all plugs on a harness. And when I got done unplugging everything, I just took the whole harness and flopped it over out of the way. And they make it so that way you can't plug stuff into the wrong spots as long as you don't start whacking away at the wiring. But yeah, that was what I was most worried about. And turned out to be no problem, except I had one plug I couldn't figure out where it went. Drove me crazy. I crawled all over that thing for an hour looking for it. There's a freaking light on the hood. But I found it, boy. That's what makes me the winner. Alright. So we got our tensioner bolt about out. There it goes. Set that to the side. Now we're going to take this nut off and try to get this bolt out. Got it. Alright, so our next step is take this pulley off. We're going to take it inside. Okay. Little washers back on there. Make sure it's tight. Go put it on. So our new one come with a new bolt. We'll use it for the tensioner, which we're gonna need a pry bar. But first things first, we're gonna get this set in there. So we'll put our long bolt in. We'll put our original lock washer nut that was on there. Listen, if you don't believe in lock washers, look at this. That was, see it peeled that off when I was trying to take it off. I used to not think nothing about them, and then one day I couldn't get something loose with my fingers because it was touching that lock washer, and I was like, maybe they're on to something with those. Such a simple idea. Okay, so we'll put this up here. We'll push it on in there a ways. Get our belt out here on it. Pull it back a little bit. Get our bolt started in there some way. Right now we're just putting everything in there like finger tight. I mean, nothing's done, which you also had to be careful with because I've done that before and then not get everything tightened up. So it's always good to double check when you get done. Alright, so we got that in there. Get all of our wiring out that we push back here. Okay. And like I said, these eyelets can only go on their designated post. The top one up here, big one goes on it. And on this particular application, the exhaust manifold's right here. So we got to bend this away from it. And then when we tighten it up, make sure that they're not over there too close to it. Push our plug in. It ought to go pretty easy. I don't want to do, because that plug's brittle, sitting out in the sun and weathering for 100 years. Just want to make sure you get them on there. It's on there. Turn this out. Put our little eyelet on. Turn that up. Alright, so we've got everything in place. We know that everything is accounted for. What the heck is this? I don't know what that is. Must be for our ground or something. If we don't have it, we will touch it with a wrench, make sure it ain't gonna fall off there. Alright, so we gotta get a pry bar, because we gotta be able to pry the alternator is what is also the tensioner. So when we'll leave this loose, we'll tighten this one up first. But we'll have to get a pry bar and pry that out till we get the belt tight. Nice. Nice. Oh, we were in there. Okay. So this dovetail bar, luckily, it just slides right up in there. I know on my old cars that I used to have these on, you'd be able to get a pry bar in the top. So the belt is not super duper tight right now, but we're gonna get our wrench. It's actually a 1/2 inch. We're gonna get it a little more snug, a little closer to snug. You don't want to be farting around when you're trying to snug it up. Okay. So right about there is just a little right before snug. We'll get our box in on there. As high as we can go. Pry this up. We're not trying to turn the tractor over, but you also don't want that belt slipping. So you'll get this snug down. I got a little bitty old wrench so I can put the ooga dooga on it. Okay, take our bar out. The belt seems tight enough. We know that that's tight. We'll check it. Remember I said we're going to double check. That's tight. Now we're going to tighten up our bolt down here. Now it's turning, so we need a bolt to hold it, or we need a wrench to hold the bolt. Oh! I'd like to get the box in on there. There we go. There we go. Oh. Tight. Now we'll tighten up our wiring. So we'll top one up here, 7/16. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't mind it either. I just wish it wouldn't go no more. This is hot if you haven't disconnected the battery, so. Make sure your plugs in there good. Even smaller than that. Thought I had a little bitty guy. Oh, there it is. All right. Plenty of room in between there. I think we're good to go. We're going to call it good.